Today we're talking about how to successfully play 16th note passages. Welcome back. Welcome to the studio. If you're new here, my name is Cassie and I'm a professional violist and teaching artist. Today we're going to talk about a few techniques that you could use to help you with those 16th note passages, especially if there's like you've got a whole half a page of 16th notes and you're just freaking out about it a little bit. So we're going to use the D major scale as our sample. And what I'm going to show you first is a few different ways to practice that. So I understand everybody's 16th note passage will be different, but just so you can apply these techniques to whatever passage you're working on, I'm going to use that D major scale. So the first thing we can do is just play it as it's printed, but a little bit slower. So if my tempo was really fast, let's say it was like 160, I'm going to slow my tempo down to something that's a little bit more manageable, say 100. And I'm just going to practice my passage. Then I would speed my metronome up a little bit by little bit, so maybe 2 to 5 clicks, and I would just practice that same passage a little bit faster. If I'm successful at that 3 times in a row, I know I can bump that tempo up. So let's say that was my 3rd time, I'm going to bump that tempo up again. Oh, I just made a bunch of mistakes. Instead of continuing on at that same tempo, I'm just going to slow the tempo down a little bit, have success at that slower tempo, and then slowly build it back up. Now, if you've tried that and it doesn't work, I want to give you this technique that's, I don't know why it works, it's just magic. So I call it fast, slow, slow, fast. So we're going to change the rhythm just for practice of those 16th notes. So instead of doing straight 16th notes, I'm going to change the rhythm to be our slow fast version. And the way that this is going to work most successfully is if after your bow stops, so after that 2nd note, you're already setting the next finger. So I'm going to say the finger that I'm setting as I set it. 2, oh, 2, 2, oh, 2, oh. Up close that looks like this. Set 2, open. Set 2, 2, oh, 2, oh. The most common mistake I see my students making with this practice technique is that they wait to set their finger until the bow moves. So for instance, it would look like this. 2, oh, 2. So my finger should always precede my bow motion. Now we're going to do the opposite of that rhythm. That was fast, slow. We're going to do slow, fast. So after the first note, I'm going to set the coming finger. For instance, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1. Again, up close that looks like this. 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1. With this rhythm in particular, you may notice that you run into some bow issues. So if I start out low in the bow, and I don't plan well, I'm going to end up at the tip and I'm going to get stuck there. So after you play that first long note and you have your stop, your up bow has to equal your down bow. So you're going to aim for your up bow to be, it's going to be it'll feel like anyways, a really, really fast bow, just so that you don't end up stuck at the tip. After you've practiced that slow, fast, fast, slow method, I would recommend that you go back with your metronome and you set it at that comfortable tempo and see if that's evened anything out for you. So after I practice that scale, I'm going to set it at 100, for example. Okay, that felt a little bit more coordinated, a little bit more even. Then I can bump my tempo back up. The name of the game here is variety. You have to keep your brain active and engaged. The more you do something the same over and over again, your brain starts to check out. So my favorite example that I give is think of a stoplight. Can you tell me, is the top light red or green? Now you've probably looked at a million stoplights in your life and it's something that kind of fades into the background because you're not really taking notice of it. So these practice methods are a way to kind of really take notice of what is my bow doing, what is my left hand doing, and how do I coordinate them. So after you've done the slow, fast, fast, slow method, then you've gone back with your metronome. Another way to practice is by adding slurs in. So let's take that D major scale that we were practicing again. I'm going to slur 4 notes per bow. This means that my left hand has to be very active and lifting and plopping from the bass knuckle so that I can form rhythm, because my bow is no longer the rhythmic tool that I have to create those 16th notes. It's my left hand. So we can slur 4 notes, we can slur 8 notes. We can slur 2 notes. We can slur 16 notes. However many slurs you want to do, just to kind of keep your brain active and engaged in whatever passage you're working on, that's going to help you learn it that much faster because your brain's not gone on autopilot. I have 2 more tips for practicing those fast runs of notes, whether they be 8th notes, 16th notes, 32nd notes, whatever the rhythmic division is. So we just practice with our bow on a slur. We can just practice with our left hand. Oh, 1, 2, 3, oh, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, no, 3, 2, 1, no. Now as I practice that, I want to really hear my left hand lifting and plopping. If you can't hear your left hand, you're probably not lifting and plopping from the bass knuckle. So up close, that looks like this. You want a very active left hand. We don't want to have a left hand that looks like this, where it's barely lifting above the string. If we're trying to create rhythm with our left hand, it needs to be very active, lifting and plopping. So the analogy I use is, you know how babies wave from the bass knuckle, and your bass knuckle is your lowest knuckle. We have 3 knuckles. It's the one that connects your fingers to your hand or to your palm. So we want that lifty ploppy feeling like a baby waves from the bass knuckle. That's going to give you a really accurate left hand rhythm. Conversely, we can just practice with the open strings, and I'm going to do my fingers on the top of the instrument. So, oh, 1, 2, 3, oh, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, no, 3, 2, 1, no. Or if it's separate bows. This ensures that my bow, especially if I have string crossings, that my bow is coordinated and it's going to the correct string at the correct time. So now that we've talked about a hypothetical passage, I'm going to take an actual passage. This is the opening to Mozart's overture of The Marriage of Figaro. And at the beginning, everybody has the same thing, and I'll post the passage below so that you can follow along with me. But we're going to practice the methods that we just talked about. So first, I'm going to set my metronome to a comfortable tempo. So my metronome is at 100, and I'm going to do separate bows first to begin with. So that was very comfortable. Now I'm going to do the bowing as it's printed. But now I'm going to do those odd even rhythms. I'm going to do the short long version first. 4, 4. Oh, 2, 2, 4, 4, 4. Oh, 2, 3, 1, 1, 3, 1, 3. 1, 3, 2. I'll do the inverse of that, so this will be long, short. 3, 3, 3, 1, 1, 3, 3, 3, 1, oh, 2, 1. 2, 2, oh, 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 1, 3. Now notice these don't have to sound great, it's just, can I practice those rhythms? Now I'm going to do everything that's slurred 4 notes per bow. Left hand by itself. 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. 4, 3, 0, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. Lifting and plopping. 0, 3, 0, 1, 2, 0, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 3, 0, 1, 0, 3, 1, 2, 3, 0. I'm going to finger on the top of my instrument and just do open strings. So all of that was very comfortable at 100. Now, because it's comfortable, I'm going to set my metronome just a little bit higher and repeat the whole process at that slightly faster tempo. Hopefully these tips will help you with your faster passages. Let me know if you have a trick or a tip that's helped you in your practice below. Post it in the comments so that you can share with our community. As always, thank you so much for joining me today and happy practicing.